calling you.
Great. Welcome, everybody. Coach Pope was really excited to announce our non-conference schedule. Like we talked about in Sports Nation earlier today, we've got a great non-conference schedule that's going to prepare us for the WCC slate. We anticipate, projected right now that we've got about 10 Quad 1 games with an additional, slate of Quad 2 games, which really helps build a nice NCAA resume. Clearly, it's a very challenging schedule, but we like our leadership. We like the depth that we have, and we feel like our guys are excited about the opportunity to play some teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year and help prepare us for the NCAA tournament this year.
Awesome. Let's open up the floor for questions. Mitch, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. I know that you and Coach Pope have had a strong desire to try to get his, blue blood into the Marriott Center. How challenging has it been to get teams to come to Provo?
Yeah, it's been a real challenge. As the team has, proven night in and night out that we can compete with anybody in the country. Finish in the top 25 the last two seasons. And, the desire for teams to come to the Marriott Center, especially with, the Rock and, the 19,000 fans that we have, it's a really challenging place to play. So, we continue to have, that challenge as we move forward. But we're also excited about the opportunity to have, the Big 12 slate in a couple of years. But clearly Gonzaga and some of the other teams in the WCC right now are continuing to get a lot better, from a number standpoint. But yes, to answer your question, Mitch, that is still a challenge for us. But we're doing everything possible to get great teams here in the Marriott Center.
What do you guys maybe do because some of these programs, like a Missouri State, for example, that's a good basketball program that maybe on the outside looking in, people don't realize that. Maybe what do you do as far as research and try to forecasting who those Quad 1, Quad 2 teams could potentially be when piecing together the schedule?
Yeah, so we take a look at the numbers from a number of different sites, as well as previous history, and try to project out the best that we can. And so, having Missouri State, on the road this year, is a great quality, quadrant game for us. They'll return to us, right, the following season and be here in the Marriott Center. But there's, a number of teams out there that kind of fit that profile, us included, of being, right there on the cusp of top 25 when it comes to the final polls. NCAA experienced teams, as well as high quality from an efficiency standpoint, and so we're trying to get those teams, here at the Marriott Center or on single neutral site games pretty consistently, in our scheduling process.
Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, how different was it scheduling for the non-conference this year compared to last year with everything that was going on, all the chaos that was going on last year? How would you compare the two experiences?
So last year we had a schedule that was complete, and then everything changed. And so, it was a little bit more of a challenge. We went a little bit deeper right into, September to get that schedule finalized. But from, the quality of teams that we have, on the schedule this year as well as last year, 62% of our games this year are projected to be Quad 1 and Quad 2. Last year, I think it ended up being 64% of our games were Quad 1 and Quad 2 projected. And so, for us to be able to have, that kind of quality, and depth in our schedule, is a real challenge for us, night in and night out. But it makes for, great games, great quality of opponents, and really helps build, right, our NCAA tournament resume, in the WCC.
Awesome. Any last minute questions? Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, any of the games with Oregon, will that be a return visit, or is that just a one-off with a neutral game in Portland?
Yeah, the Oregon game is part of the Phil Knight Invitational, so that's a one-game opportunity this year on a neutral site. Missouri State, right, will continue that series into next year. And then, we're looking at some other, potential opportunities of home and away, right? Neutral home and away. Creighton is a series where we'll start at the Pentagon, right, in South Dakota, and then move to Vegas next year. But the opportunities to play in series, whether it's neutral and neutral, home and home, neutral, home and away, or like Coach Pope, says every now and again, home, right, neutral, away. Those are all opportunities that are out there.
All right, Sean, last question.
Coach, you know me, you know how much I love those in-state games, and I know you do too. I think you guys got 4 of them on the schedule plus Westminster, if I remember right. But most of those are on the road. What kind of a challenge is that going on the road? Obviously not leaving the state boundaries, but you know how much other local fan bases just don't like this team and how much of a challenge that'll be. So what is it about this team that has them that you like having them prepared to kind of face that, I guess, vitriol from the opposing student sections in the state?
Yeah, last year, right, was clearly a different year. Limited fans, right, in most of the places that we went to. This year to be able to have fans in the Marriott Center, in the in-state, schools that we'll be visiting, to be able to have fans there. We're excited for those opportunities because we feel like, the BYU fans travel extremely well to all of these venues. And to be able to compete, with such intensity, and with the opportunity to be able to come away, victorious in those in-state games, it's a real treat, not just for our staff, for the players, for the program, but for BYU Nation as a whole.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great day.